We now head to our second heat for DD2. And this is race 11 of the meeting. Heat 2, DD2. Let's have a look at the starting grid. After the earlier race, it was Martin van Leuven that started from pole and finished comfortably ahead of the competition. He starts from pole position again. Ragnar Veres will be back alongside. The qualifying earlier on yesterday afternoon decided the respective grids for all three heats. Finn Stiak and Patrick Snols-Lockmelis complete the top two rows ahead of Lukas Hartmann and Bendit Savo, respectively from Germany and Hungary. Italy's Gregorio Bertocco and Great Britain's Rhys Hunter start on row 4, with an all-Danish row 5 completing the top 10 once again, Tino Egersov and also Matthias Jere Jakobsen. Dennis Tiemens on the Shriblack, row 6, Vili Villainen and Justas Pangonis from Finland and Lithuania, row number 7. Maxime Dirix from Belgium and Jose Barros from Portugal, row 8. And it's Poland and Latvia, row 9, which is Kasper Siedmirkowski, and then we've also got Matis Malinovskis. Then it's Adrian Prunonosa Vidal and Lawrence Leifried from Spain and Germany completing the top 20. After that, it's Devin Segardi, Marius Novicki, Karl Borgard, Kilian Gerha, Andreas Sinkevicius, Ethan Ho, Stig Holt. Wondering where Nick Cuppens is at the moment because he's not showing up on my timing. He's due to start in 28th ahead of Jan Frost, Jaro Dekkers, Yannick Herman and Lucas Bernot from Canada, rounding out the field itself. So, ladies and gentlemen, the drivers make their way into the tram lines. This is a full start. Race director not happy, so we're going to go around for another tour. And there is Nick Cuppens waiting at the edge of the entry onto the circuit. So Nick Cuppens will have a little bit of a lifeline there, so he will be able to take, I think he may be able to take his position and start from the very back. Speak to him about his affirmation with Belgian beer. I saw him this morning and said, "Where's your livery gone?" He went, "Oh, I can't do that one anymore." But it was quite funny seeing that in person at Genk, of all places. And now we make our way towards another restart. So, right. We are okay. Just been informed. The red flag has been called. So that means that all the drivers will have to line up on the start-finish straight. So they are getting the carts back underway. It's going to be a second time of asking. So it will be Martin van Leuven and Ragnar Virus that will start proceedings. So is anyone going to challenge Martin van Leuven? We are going to find out whether that person is possibly going to be Ragnar Virus or whether anyone else might have a bite of the cherry. So out of the final corner, into the tram lines we go. Revs rise. Are we ready this time? We are given the lights out signal and we are off and away and racing. And again, Van Leuven gets the whole shot. Stays ahead of Virus this time as Virus does not lose a couple of positions in the opening corner. The thing is, you've not just got to deal with the curbing, you've also got to deal with the ascent through that corner and also any potential camber that might be thrown your way. Virus this time is a lot closer. But Van Leuven starting to put out a little bit of a gap. It's about 4 kart lengths at the moment as they head into the infield hairpin. Into the next double right. Van Leuven just sweeping that car in and just turning in ever so nicely. That kart seems to be very, very well hooked up for the 412 from the Netherlands. Ragnar Virus coming under pressure from Finchdiak. Patrick Snolls-Lokmelis from Latvia is also in the mix, and there is someone that is moving a little bit further up the field, and that is an RS competition kart. That's Matthias Jere Jakobsen, who's already gotten up into 6th position, and the Dane started from the outside of row 5. So Jere Jakobsen has done an absolute perler of a start, gained 4 positions within the first lap and a half of the race. And now is ahead of Lukas Hartmann from Germany in the 409. Bendit Sabo, Reese Hunter and Zander Schriblak now complete the top 10 as the field make their way down the hill into the tight left-hander. Van Leuven had a gap of nearly 0.3 of a second over Ragnar Virus. And now Finchdiak fancies an opportunity, but keep your eyes on Patrick Snolls-Lokmelis, the Latvian in 4th position, the 403. Gregorio Bertoka now has been passed, and Jere Jakobsen is doing an absolute number on some of those drivers in front. The Dane is absolutely flying right now and has got a little bit of clean air between himself and Lokmelis just up ahead. But there is an absolute train and a half, because I've just seen behind Bertocco, you've got Hartmann, Sabo, Hunter and Schriblak. And the top 10 covered by just less than 2.5 seconds from front to rear bumper. And Lokmelis looking a bit racy, looking to try and see if there's an opportunity to throw the kart down the inside or maybe even the outside of Finchdiak. But at the moment, that is not quite happening yet, because Lokmelis needs to be a little bit closer, needs to be within striking distance. But the field is really concertinaing. I'm just seeing Dennis Thiem a little bit further back, the 454, battling away with Vili Ainen. And Jan Frost has dropped all the way to the back of the field. Nick Cuppens was released after the field had gotten going. So Nick Cuppens is still in this race at the minute. But Martin van Leuven is pulling away from Ragnar Virus. The gap is now nearly 0.6 and climbing. It's a repeat of what we saw in the first heat from the Dutchman based out of Zolder, but Finch Diak and Patrick Snols-Lokmelis are closing in. Jan Frost looks to be the first retirement of this second heat. A real shame for the Polish driver. As Finch Diak is still closing in, Jere Jakobsen is actually a lot quicker than the drivers in front, probably by at least a tenth of a second, but Martin van Leuven again putting in the hot laps. 1 minute 2.604 for the Dutch driver in the 4:12. 40% of the time has expired, 60% of it to go, plus an additional lap. And Van Leuven is like a scalded cat on a hot tin roof at the moment, isn't he? He's pulling away. He's getting away from everybody else, and Ragnar Virus can't do anything about it. He's just having to run his own race, and he's now 3/4 of a second adrift. So Van Leuven keeping pace, looking good, looking comfortable, looking settled, like nothing's going to trouble him. But still at the moment, it is Van Leuven, Virus, Stiak, Lokmelis, Jakobsen, Bertocco. Well, it was Bertocco until Hartmann decided to jump in and steal my thunder. Thank you very much, Lucas. So Lucas Hartmann up past Gregorio Bertocco for what is now 6th position. Vili Viliainen now past Justus Pangonis from Lithuania for what is 13th position on the road. And the gap now between first and second is over a second. Stig Riholt and Lucas Belnot unfortunately look to be 2 further retirements, as they haven't made it past the start-finish line to complete their 4th lap of racing. That was a couple of laps ago, I'm afraid. Benedict Sabo trying to close in on Zana Schriblak. There's about 3 to 4 kart lengths behind, which equates to roughly about a tenth and a half of a second. Van Leuven is just comfortably extending that gap. Keep your eyes on Finch Diak. The German is closing in on the Estonian just up ahead. Ragnar Virus, who last time around was 2.5 tenths of a second, and another fastest lap from Martin van Leuven. 1 minute 2.329. He's just eking out that little bit extra when he needs to, not pushing too hard, not. You know, he knows that he's within the limits of the kart, and the kart is working well. It's balanced, it's set up nicely. It's an absolute joy to drive. That's exactly what we're seeing with Martin van Leuven at the moment. And Jere Jakobsen's early shenanigans may have caught up with him. The reason being is have the tyres been outside their window ever so slightly, or did he lose a little bit of time whilst running in clean air? That's the biggest thing. You can have an absolutely monstrous start, and then all of a sudden you find your pace dropping. You take the life out of the tyres a little bit too early, you can compromise the handling of the car, but also the pure performance that you can unlock from the combination of the tyres and the chassis and the engine working together in harmony. 2 minutes 20 to go, plus an additional lap. Martin van Leuven is still leading. His lead over Ragnar Virus now stands at a whopping 1.7 seconds, and we're just over 2 minutes to go. So 1 minute 45 seconds plus an additional lap. Van Looijen crosses the line. 8 minutes and 20 seconds of the race completed. And he's just done another 1 minute 2. Well, he's just done another 1 minute 2.3. 1 minute 2.329. So, and there has been a drama, unfortunately, for Rhys Hunter. He's dropped to the back of the field. Dan Holland racing driver, the number 408, based out of Sunderland. Had a good run, had a top 10 finish in the first race. Not looking so comfortable now, I'm afraid, but this is his first efforts into DD2. He also runs his own team over in the United Kingdom, Hunter Motorsport. So not only is he a driver, he's a team boss in his own right, helping younger talents to get up the racing ladder. Finchdiak has kept within 0.3 of a second of Ragnar Virus. This is going to get interesting, folks, because now we go on to the penultimate lap of the race. And Virus is staying ahead of Finchdiak. Lokmelis, Jere Jakobsen, Hartmann rounding out the top 5 positions. Lucas Hartmann rounding out the top 6 ahead of Gregorio Bertocco, Zana Schiblak, Bendit Sabo and Tino Egesov. So the timer is about to hit 0 as Martin Van Looijen hits the hairpin on the infield of the circuit. Stiak is close. Whether Stiak is close enough to attempt an overtake is dependent on the bravado and the intestinal fortitude of one driver behind the wheel of the 439. We're now going to go on to the final lap. Lap 11 out of 11. And Martin Van Looijen is less than 1,500 metres away from another successful race in the office. Virus keeping Stiak at bay. The gap now between them is just over 0.23 of a second. Rhys Hunter looks like he's pulled into Parc Fermé, and that's his race done, unfortunately. He was pulled over to the side of the circuit. But Ragnar Virus has kept Finchdiak at bay for pretty much the majority of the race. Ragnar Virus thought, well, I've got an opportunity to get past Martin Van Looijen. However, it didn't work out. He's now had to settle for second best. As there's just 3 more corners after this back straightaway for Martin Van Looijen from the Netherlands. Out of the final corner, here comes the checkered flag, and the 412 from the Netherlands takes another victory. Ragnar Virus finishes in second ahead of Finchdiak from Germany, with Patrick Snols-Lokmeris and Matthias Jere Jakobsen rounding out the top 5 as they all hurtle across the line. Hang on a second. I've just noticed Martin Van Looijen's race overalls. He's got Rick Driesen's name on the back of it. There we go. That might be a bit of a good luck charm. So Van Looijen wins ahead of Ragnar Virus, Finchdiak, Patrick Snols-Lokmeris, Matthias Jere Jakobsen in 5th ahead of Lucas Hartmann. Gregorio Bertocco, Zander Schiblak, Bendit Sabo and Ville Villainen round out the top 10. Maxim Drix from Belgium finishes ahead of Denmark's Tino Egesov. Matis Malinowskis finishes in front of Kasper Siemiatkowski. And then we've got Justus Pangonis from Lithuania rounding out the top 15 ahead of Lawrence Seyfried, Devin Sagadi, Jose Barros, Kilian Gerhard, Dennis Thiem running out at the top 20. Then it's Marius Novicki, Karl Borgard, Ethan Ho, Adrian Bruno Nosaf Vidal, Jaro Dekkers, Andreas Zinkevicius, Yannick Herman and Nick Kuppens running at the 28. They finished with Rhys Hunter retiring on lap 9, Lucas Bernot and Stig Riholt on lap 3, and Jan Frost on lap 2.